For 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 7 o'clock, it's 49 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 45. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jen Gregg. Authorities are trying to unravel the mindset of 31-year-old Cole Allen, the suspect in the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner last night. D.C. Metropolitan Police named him as the man who tried to charge a Secret Service checkpoint before exchanging gunfire with law enforcement. Allen was armed with a shotgun, a handgun, and multiple knives. ABC News contributor, retired FBI agent Brad Garrett.
Obsession, drive, recognition, I think are the high points for him. It's a whole feeling of powerlessness that people end up doing these things, and they want to regain that. As illogical as that sounds to the rest of us, that's what's going on in their mind.
Cole, an engineer from California, was not struck by gunfire. He is expected to appear in court on Monday. King Charles says he is greatly relieved that President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump was unarmed, and plans to go ahead with a visit to the U.S. Chief Foreign Correspondent James Longman says,
The King and Queen are due to arrive here in D.C. tomorrow for an informal tea at the White House. On Tuesday, that is the main event. The King will address both houses of Congress, and then there'll be a state dinner at the White House hosted by Donald Trump. Charles and Camilla will go to New York, where they'll visit the 9/11 memorial. Diplomatic relations between Britain and the United States have been strained over the war in Iran. It was hoped Charles would help calm those problems. Now it will feel like a timely visit from a close ally during a troubled moment.
The visit will also commemorate America's 250th birthday. A woman is dead following a house fire in Milwaukee. Fire crews responded Saturday night to a home near 8th and Capitol where they found heavy smoke on the first floor. Firefighters say a bystander initially believed everyone was out, but crews located an unconscious woman inside during a search. She was pulled from the home but was pronounced dead at the scene. No smoke detectors were sounding during the fire. Firefighters say she was the only person inside and no other injuries have been reported. Milwaukee food trucks will now have to close earlier under a new city rule.
The Milwaukee Common Council unanimously approved restrictions on late-night operating hours, citing safety concerns. Under the change, food trucks downtown Milwaukee must close by 10 p.m., while other areas will have an 11 p.m. cutoff. That's earlier than the previous 1 a.m. closing time. Alderman Bob Bauman, who introduced this ordinance, says it's aimed at reducing violence and disorder in the downtown area. The rule takes effect on May 9th. Nasir Spencer, WTMJ News.
A safe way to dispose of prescription drugs.
National Drug Take Back Day is hosted by the Drug Enforcement Agency biannually for people to anonymously dispose of unwanted, unused, or expired prescription drugs.
We have a good turnout so far.
Volunteer at Safe and Sound Maria Herrera says you can drop off prescription drugs any day of the year.
They could go to the 2nd District. We're located on 245 West Lincoln, so they could stop there at the MPD location.
The next Drug Take Back Day will be held in late October. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 7:03.
Sponsored by Redo Cabinets. Don't replace this spring. Reface.
Kitchen remodeling projects consistently rank as one of the most valuable improvement projects in your home. I'm Mark Olson with Redo Cabinets, here to tell you that we can transform your kitchen into your vision and save you money. Now is a great time to learn about refacing during our spring sales event. During this event at Redo Cabinets, get premium cabinet facings with plenty of options for color, hardware, style, and accessories. And get free premium countertops with every refacing project. Or payments as low as $195 a month. That's right, $195 a month. Call today and book a free, no-obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us at redocabinets.com. That's redocabinets.com. Serving homeowners for over 70 years in Illinois and Wisconsin. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets.
From those with no experience to firearms enthusiasts, all are welcome at Mission 94 Firearms Education Center. The staff is deeply committed to providing a welcoming and engaging environment for everyone at every level. Learn the right way to handle firearms, level up your skills, and experience replica firearms from different historical eras while learning about their role in protecting our freedoms throughout history. Visit veteran-owned and managed Mission 94 in Kenosha today. Check out the 5-star reviews. Just Google Mission 94.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Several locations, several choices. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers shut out the Pirates, ending the game 5-0. Next game is Tuesday against the Diamondbacks. And Admirals' hockey season comes to an end, losing 2-1 against the Moose. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic, there seems to be a left lane blocked by a disabled vehicle on I-894 East, 0.3 miles beyond I-43 North. Time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 45. Monday, evening rain, some severe storms, a high of 64. Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high of 60. Wednesday, partly cloudy, a high of 55. Thursday, partly cloudy, a high of 53. And Friday, mostly cloudy, a high of 52. In Sheboygan, it's 38. In Madison, it's 61. And in Milwaukee, 49 degrees. I'm Jen Gregg, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:06.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Dr. Ken Harris.
Here's my issue with it. The wear and tear they're going to put on the side streets by fixing the expressway, when what they should have been doing is fixing the side streets up so that they can take the weight of all that excess traffic. That now, when you're done with 7 years of the expressway for, 3.5 miles or so, now you're going to have to do the city.
Live at the Avenue, here's Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Citing a limited WTMJ talking text line is 855-616-160. If you got anything on your mind that's going on in the city of Milwaukee, I'm a talk about something, but I don't know. I think everybody sees it, and we don't hold leadership, depending on who they are, to the same level of accountability. We don't hold white leadership accountable the same way we hold black leaders accountable. There, I said it. We just don't. And before anybody gets uncomfortable and gets upset, are we talking about that? Don't sit with me. Listen, because it isn't about feelings. It's not about race. It's not about all that. It's about patterns. It's about receipts. This is about the country actually operating when nobody is pretending. Example, when Bill Clinton got caught up in the whole scandal and impeached and public embarrassment and admitted wrongdoing, what happened? He didn't disappear. He didn't get canceled. He didn't get erased. He didn't get told, you're done forever. He stayed politically relevant. His wife stayed politically relevant. High approval ratings, global foundation work, all that stuff. Daughter got to blow up. Still invited into rooms that matter. Now, let's look at the other side. Somebody like a Kwame Kilpatrick from Detroit. Did he go down? Yes. Was there corruption? Yes. Was there wrongdoing? Absolutely yes. But what followed? Punishment, erasure, no pathway back, no rehabilitation narrative, no elder statesman lane, just a permanent label of criminal. And for me, that's the difference. Not whether somebody did wrong, it's what happens afterwards. Because accountability in America, accountability in Milwaukee, believe it or not, isn't just about consequences, it's about who gets a second act. Look at George W. Bush. 2 wars, intelligence failures, Hurricane Katrina. Federal response was widely criticized by both Republicans and Democrats. At the time, criticism, severe. Today, painting portraits, joking on talk shows and podcasts, rebranded as a likable, reflective former president. History, the media, softened him. Look at Ray Nagin, Katrina-era leadership. Yes, criticized. His legacy? I don't know. Defined by failure, criminal conviction, no rebrand, no soft landing, no historical. We got to give people grace. They're human. So you tell me, which one gets complexity and the other gets condemnation? But let's go back to the media. Anybody remember Rob Ford? Drug scandal, world watching. How did they cover him? Like a spectacle. Late night comedy. He's a troubled figure. They humanized him. They almost entertained him. But look at Marion Barry from D.C. Same category drug scandal. His name, forever tied to dysfunction in Washington, D.C. Forever reduced to that one moment in his life, and he could never get out from under it, even after being reelected by his own city. There seems to be a narrative that when white leadership fails, it's complicated. When black leadership fails, that represents everything wrong. Is it accidental? I don't think so. If you got any thoughts on it, 855-616-1620, or if you're listening on the rebroadcast on 1017 The Truth, 833-212-1017. All of it is structural. Let's look at Barack Obama. Look at his presidency. No scandal, no corruption. Wife and 2 daughters now grown, no personal scandal. Disciplined, measured, strategic, but yet the scrutiny never stops. But not just policy, the tone that people talk about him. Not just decisions, but demeanor. Not leadership, but symbolism. Because the standard wasn't do your job. The standard for black people is be perfect. And even then, everyone else decides whether or not it's enough. And really, that's the game. And if you don't understand that, you're going to misread everything you see in politics, everything you see in media, everything you see in leadership. And let me be fair, because I don't really want to deal with one-sided arguments, because you know I don't, because I'm a contrarian. White leaders do get taken down. Richard Nixon resigned in disgrace. There are consequences. But here's the difference. Even in disgrace, there's a pathway to legacy recovery. People write books, they do interviews, they get reframed. Time becomes a friend. For black leaders, time becomes a magnifier. The mistake never fades. It just defines who you are. So what's really going on, I'm going to just tell you what I think. Black leaders are always treated as a representative of a group. White leaders are treated as individuals who made mistakes. See, I noticed that group thing, right? And I'm gonna talk about it later when we talk about the street takeovers and how that was handled. And if you want to go back and listen, 2 Wednesdays ago, when I was on with Vince Vitrano and Eric Bilstead, we were talking about that. At some point, and I was talking about the game Paranoia. That might have been last week. We were talking about Paranoia, that game they play in the suburbs with the going at night and the water pistols and all that stuff. Go back and listen to that. My Dr. Ken's Truth. Black leaders represent the group. White leaders, individuals who made mistakes. That is the distinction that changes everything. It changes media coverage, public forgiveness. It changes whether you get a second chance or a permanent sentence from the court of public opinion. And so here's a question you should be asking, not who messed up. The question is who gets to recover. Because we talk about accountability, but if we have accountability without equal recovery, it's not accountability, it's hierarchy. And until we start calling out clearly, without emotion or apology, but just facts, we'll keep pretending the playing field is level. And from my point of view, and historically, it's never been. And honestly, it never will be. Until we demand that it is. Because at the end of the day, accountability should not be about actions, not about identity. But here in the United States of America, it should be both. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand the game. But we come back, speaking of local politicians, onward and upward in life? Nah. They're going to stay in politics.
From the postgame to the morning show, there's no rest for baseball for Dominic Cotroneo, our Brewers 360 guest every Monday at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Brewers still left some runs on the table, but I mean, we're going to talk about this until Churio and Vaughn and Yelich come back. The offense is not going to be firing on all cylinders until those guys come back.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Cannon and Dunphy, and Ridgetop Exteriors.
Save big money on your next painting project at Menards. Rust-Oleum's Painter's Touch 2x Cover Spray Paint is the perfect choice for both indoor and outdoor painting projects. It comes in over 100 colors and dries to a smooth, durable finish on wood, plastic, metal, and wicker surfaces. Save big on Rust-Oleum spray paint at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals.
Save big money at Menards.
The new Russell apartment sofa is Penny Mustard's greatest optical illusion.
How so?
The Russell appears to be the perfect pint-sized sofa to fit any small living space.
Yeah?
But behold, the three of us can comfortably sit together without feeling cramped.
No way.
Try it.
Okay.
See?
Wow, you're right.
Seeing is believing.
You know this is radio, right?
Just squint your ears, you'll see it.
The new Russell apartment sofa, starting at $20.81 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. Call for your free weight loss consultation. 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Welcome back to The Truth Unfiltered.
You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Denise Thomas is taking a well-needed day off. She'll be back with us on next week. Hey, whenever or whatever you're doing, you're listening, whatever you're hanging out, just know we're live on YouTube as well. You can watch the show, see what's happening in the studio, see what I'm wearing with my Illinois State University School of Communications jacket on. I'm just saying. And comment along with us. Just search 620 WTMJ on YouTube, and you can subscribe today. But if you want to talk or text or call or holler or scream or just all around harass me, you can hit me on the Citing Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Speaking of, 262-720 says, preaching exactly what too many of African Americans in this country do. Always a victim. Good job, doctor. But here's the problem. African Americans are mostly not victims. They are victims in many instances. That is exactly the thing I'm talking about. Whenever you look at black people, it's always as a group. You never look at the individual saying they're a victim. You keep assigning those things to the entire group when that's not fair, it's not equitable, and it's not even true. It's a lie. It's a lie. Black people are not always victims. There are a significant number of us, significantly more, that go to school, work, do great things, don't cause trouble, all that. You keep attaching us to the ones that do and saying that is representative of us. But when some white guy shoots up the White House Correspondents' Dinner, he's all of a sudden an individual. Is he a representative of white people? I say yes. Is he a representative? Where's all the white leaders coming out against this guy? Nobody. Absolute crickets, quiet. Because when a white guy does something wrong, when a white woman does something wrong, they're an individual. It was just them. It's not reflective of us. It's them. But when black people do something wrong, all of a sudden, see how black people are? Let me tell you. Pick my wife up at the airport today. And I'm driving back. And as I'm driving back, I got to come from the south side. And everybody was leaving a Brewers game. And I live in Sherman Park. But I couldn't get to Sherman Park because everybody was leaving the Brewers game. So Miller Parkway was backed up, and American Family Field Road, or whatever y'all call it, the new 175 was backed up. The Canal Street was backed up, both directions, everything. People going west and people going south. It was like people were losing their minds. I cannot make a left turn. I cannot go into the city at all. I got to get out the city. They would rather sit in backed up traffic than simply drive through a neighborhood, make a left turn, and leave. Why? Because of fear. Because in their mind, if they see one black person do something on TV, all black people are like that if it's negative. And so all black people are criminals, and they walk around with guns, and they walk around selling drugs, and they walk around with, what do they call it, AK-47 style weapons and all kind of nonsense. We're the only group of Americans that when people look at the least of us, they say it represents all of us. And if you do that, not only are you a liar, but you're trash. In the words of Tory Lowe, you're trash. Because you're hypocritical, you're judgmental, and you're comparing someone else's lifestyle to yours, who never had the ability to do and input into the financial sectors, the education sectors, the investment sectors that whites have had, housing that whites have had. You have to honestly admit, historically, that is true. If you have a question, I will actually bring you the books that you can read that white people wrote about what you did. See, the problem is when people start talking to you as a group, you get offended. Oh, wait. My ancestors, we didn't have slaves. I don't have slaves. You just made money off of them. You just created 3 generations of wealth, and now you have a legacy because of it. But that's okay. The money Jamie Dimon makes at Chase Bank is because they made a lot of their money off wars and slavery. And if you go back and Google it, they apologize for it. Many of these large banks made money and still have money today, foundationally, off of slavery. And when you minimize it by saying, well, Irish people were slaves too and Italian people were slaves too, we're not talking about them. We're talking about us. If you want to talk about them later, we can. They were. I get it. But whenever somebody brings something up, and you get uncomfortable, you minimize it. Well, that's them. But I never find it when white people do. I'm going to start doing what's done to me. As young people say, I'm going to give you the same energy you give me. White people are crazy. White people are criminals. They keep running up trying to shoot the president, shoot up the correspondence dinner, shoot other people in mass shootings. White people crazy. They do all the mass shootings. They do pretty much all of the school shootings. They're crazy. Y'all crazy. You'd get offended at that. What makes you think I'm not offended? I've got 4 degrees. I've got and no, I'm not being prideful or egotistical. I've got 4 degrees. Got a certificate from an Ivy League school. Considered a subject matter expert with a PhD. 30 years of law enforcement. I don't know how to add that up. 41 years of teaching in higher education, elementary, high school, and college. Multiple businesses. I'm a reflection of all my friends that are black, that have the same thing, if not more. But if the only time you look at black people is what's on the news, that's troubling. And to say they represent all of 1, 2, 3, 5, or 200 shootings in Milwaukee does not reflect the majority of middle class and upper class black people that populate Milwaukee every single day, and nothing happens. But it's insulting. Your thoughts. 855-616-1620, Citing Unlimited, WTMJ Talking Text Line. 262-210 also, say it. I'm sorry, the first one was 262-720. This is 262-210, who said, I kind of feel the same way about Democrats and Republicans. Absolutely. Democrats and Republicans have done absolutely nothing to help anybody outside of their party that are in leadership. Ever. We feel good about it. Oh my God, I feel good. I vote this way, I vote that way. But you never quite get anything out of it. Republicans in Wisconsin are fighting just to stop Democrats from doing what they do, even though they would do the same thing. Gerrymandering is bad until gerrymandering is good because you're in power. Then if you don't have power, if you don't have a veto pen, it's bad. If you don't have the majority in the Supreme Court, gerrymandering is good. You lose it. You lose the majority. Now it's bad. And the problem is the leadership. If somebody would just step in and do what's right for the least of us, because the majority of us can take care of ourselves. But we won't. And we don't. And it's unfortunate. It is truly unfortunate that we won't allow that to happen. Milwaukee Alderman Peter Bergelis is entering the U.S. House race. Hey, Alderman, could you take care of Milwaukee first? You know, the potholes, the shootings, the crime, the construction, garbage pickup, leaf pickup, flooding. We got a few things going on. Milwaukee Alderman Peter Bergelis from CBS 58 says he announced he's running for Congress in the 1st District. He said today, I've spent years listening to people here, and what I hear is the same everywhere. Groceries, utilities, mortgages, and insurance just keep getting more expensive, and people know why. Trump's tariffs are raising costs, and Brian Style has voted for him nearly every time while avoiding his own constituents. I'm running to actually show up, listen, and fight for you. Didn't really tell you what he's going to do. It's the same Democratic nonsense that everybody said. You could have plugged in any Republican's name, and they would have said the same thing. Tom Tiffany, anybody. Plug him in, same stuff. He serves the 11th District in Milwaukee, looking to unseat GOP Representative Brian Style. So, and what's going to change? Nothing. He's just going onward and upward in politics. Nothing changes, won't do anything. Oil companies are the reason why our prices are higher. We already had tariffs. Most people didn't know we had tariffs. But we already have tariffs. So what? It's just weird. Because no one wants to spend the time to give credit to the other side when, in fact, all of your politics is local. So Peter Burgelis didn't do his job while he was here. So now you want me to send you to Congress to do nothing there so you can get another pension and another. And the argument they would argue is, well, I'm not getting a pension from the city. That's your argument, not what you'll do.
Well, he's not going to win the first district, so we don't have to worry about him going
We
to
don't
Washington.
know that. We don't know that because the same people said Trump wasn't going to win. The same people said Biden wasn't going to win. The same people said Trump wasn't going to win the first time.
True, but that district's been voting Republican ever since, as far as I can remember, since I've lived in that district, since Paul Ryan Steele took over for him. The Democrats never stand a chance come election day in that district.
That is the assumption that people make because we live in history. We don't live in present day. Today, people are exceedingly upset with Donald Trump because of the war in Iran. And because they're upset with the war in Iran, those people who were on the fence, Freudian slip, on the fence, are independents that voted for Donald Trump. If they flip, they vote Democrat. But there's no thing to say that I can flip away from Donald Trump and then go back to him. Because a lot of Republican strongholds failed in the last election.
Well, what he's going to have to do is get out to Janesville, get out to Western Racine County, Western Kenosha County, Walworth County, because that's where Steele and Paul Ryan always won it. That's where he's going to have to get out to and really campaign hard. And I don't think that's been the problem. Most of the people that have ran, they don't really get out of the city of Racine or the city of Kenosha.
I think that's different. You know why? We got this thing called social media. We got this thing called YouTube. We got this thing called Instagram. We got Facebook. We got Snapchat. We got all these things where I can get you exactly where you are.
I know.
So me going to Janesville is me figuring out what your zip codes are and what your demographics are and pinpointing it in TikTok. So it can happen. And I think that's what people miss before we go to break. I think that's what people miss today. The lines we talk about Republican and Democrat, it's not blue, it's not red, it's not purple. I like it the way it is. People are going to decide on election day who they want, and I don't really care what party you're in. I care what you're going to do for my personal, I'm trying to find the right word, so I don't want to say the wrong word. We're on FCC licensed radio. My personal quality of life every day. And if you can't affect it, you're not going to become president for me. You're not going to become senator, congressman or woman, county executive, county supervisor, mayor, or common council man or woman. Period. Throw the bums out. What are your thoughts? 855-616-1620 is the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talking text line. When we come back, the right to know versus actually knowing what's right.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me. Not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem. And I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who'll tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Enjoy a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club tonight. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Hop on in there. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, even on the weekends. That's pretty special. You'll love the twin lobster tails, pecan-crusted salmon, the steak and lobster, the pasta, even prime rib on Saturdays. Any entree, all buy one, get one free. And the amazing desserts, buy one, get one free. The magical ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. De-stress with a cocktail. Choose from 20 bourbons, 100 wines, and the timbered rustic bar with 8 unique dining rooms. I recommend the magnificent all-you-care-to-eat Sunday brunch. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. The Fox and Hounds, tucked into the Kettle Moraine Forest near Holy Hill. The spring drive is spectacular. It's a Wisconsin must-see. Escape from your kitchen with a free dinner this weekend. Serving Saturday lunch from 11 till 2. Dinner at 3 p.m. Dine early. Tables are open. Google and reserve the Fox and Hounds.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered.
That's me singing. You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 855-616-1620. 414-501 said, was the ultimate Peter still an alderman if he becomes U.S. Congressman? Well, I don't know how long he was on. How long did he serve? Or has he been serving? I don't know if he's been long enough to get a pension and all that stuff. So I'm not mad at him. You know, if that's your jam and you want to be, knock yourself out. But
yeah, can you be an alderman and a member of U.S. Congress at the same time?
I
That's
do
what
not
that
know.
guy's asking.
I do not know. Let me see. Let me see. Can you be a congressman and alderman at the same time in Wisconsin? And you cannot be both a member of U.S. Congress and alderman at the same time, but the reason is not Wisconsin law. It is a constitutional rule. Article 1, Section 6, Clause 2 of the U.S. Constitution contains ineligibility clause, which states that no member of Congress shall, during the time for which he was elected, be appointed to any civil office under the authority of the United States. This applies to both the U.S. House and Senate, and the clause is designed to protect the separation of power and prevent conflicts of interest. An alderman in a municipal office in Wisconsin cities, villages, and towns, and is not a federal office. However, the ineligibility clause does not bar you from holding a state office while in Congress. It only prohibits federal. So in this instance, it looks like yes. The key point is congressional service automatically disqualifies you from holding any federal office during your term, but it does not automatically bar you from holding state or local office unless Wisconsin law or the Constitution otherwise prohibits it. Now, Wisconsin also has rules about incompatible offices. Statute 66.0501 generally prohibits a governing body member from holding another municipal office unless specifically authorized by statute. However, it's for municipal, not federal. So bottom line is you can be a U.S. congressman and an alderman if the alderman position is a state or local office and not federal. So yes, he can. Now, how he'll make meetings, I don't know. How he'll go back and forth? Well, let me see. Both of them don't work long. Both of them got a really, 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 really short year. So I guess he probably could. Probably do both. Take both offices. I say do it. And every time you mess it, look, we get to fire you twice. I'm just saying. So before the break, I was talking about the right to know versus knowing what's right. So this lunatic who decided to, well, let me just read it. The day after a man opened fire at the White House Correspondents Association dinner, which I mentioned earlier, authorities are combing through, who wrote this? Kristen Holmes, Casey Tolan. Yeah, too many people wrote this because it's from CNN on CBS 58. Are combing, somebody's wrote combining, weird, through a message sent by a shooting suspect seeking to understand what allegedly led him from his life as a respected California teacher to a would-be assassin. He texts, "Let me start out by apologizing to everyone whose trust I abused." He writes in a note that authorities says was sent by the suspect, Cole Tomas Allen, 31-year-old from Torrance, California, worked part-time as a teacher and also developed video games, according to public records. The note, which Allen allegedly sent to his family members before the attack, said he intended to target administration officials, express his political anger, while noting, "I don't expect forgiveness." So is this a reflection of white people? Of all white people? See, something wrong with y'all. Start talking in generalities. See, y'all be doing stuff like that. If you're a white male 21-year-old, ooh, I'm scared. But that's what we get. That's what we hear. Anthony said, "It says all the time black people are not seen as individuals, but as a group, while white people are seen as individual." And he said, "What happens to his alderman position?" Well, we covered that. He can be both if he wants. He can be both. That's on the YouTube chat. He can be both. But this dude boarded a train in Los Angeles, traveled to Chicago, then to D.C., checked into a downtown hotel hosting the annual dinner featuring President Donald Trump and other top administration officials, came armed with a .38 caliber semi-automatic pistol, 12-gauge shotgun, sent family members the note, calling himself the friendly federal assassin. Got off a couple shots, hit one Secret Service agent wearing a bullet-resistant vest, because there's no such thing as a bulletproof vest. People need to learn how to, anyway, do their job. And then was apprehended. And then, of course, they sashayed the acting attorney general and president out. So, interesting. What are your thoughts? 855-616-1620 or the YouTube chat. I find it ironic that now is a perfect chance. Let's start looking at the people he hung out with. Let's start looking at how many people around America, how many times we've had shootings like this, how many times all the white, well, why are you racializing it? Well, because you do. You do it by your actions. You do it by your behavior. You do it by your statements. Why can't we? So when somebody does something from now and be like, well, there goes those white people, Evan. They're doing it again. Look, y'all doing it again. Well, I didn't do anything. Yeah, I did it again. I've been asked a million times, why aren't your leaders taking care of your community and stopping crime? Same reason they're not doing it in the suburbs. Like, I don't understand. Like, why am I responsible for an individual does? He's an individual. She's an individual. They did it. Y'all didn't do that to Hillary Clinton. I'm just saying. You didn't do it to Bill. You didn't do it to George W. Bush. How is it? Find that very interesting. Yeah, but they don't reflect us. They're individuals. No, they was acting on your behalf. Do you denounce the Klan? The Klan is acting on behalf of white people. Do you denounce patriots or all that stuff? So, I don't know. So, I don't know. Joe, you're on 620 WTMJ, Truth Unfiltered. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm hanging in here tonight. What's going on?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to talk. What happened last night, after talking to a bunch of different people, obviously I wasn't there, we don't know the full facts of this stuff yet. But this looks like a whole setup to me. How can a guy get that close and then shoot off a bunch of rounds and only hit one officer? This whole thing just screams that Trump set this whole thing up. And there's got to be some type of investigation, but this is just a total distraction again. And that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think this whole thing was it was fake. It was set up. No one was going to get hurt. And it was just because of Epstein or because of the war or because of the, the economy, everything. It just makes no sense to me. And I know a lot of people agree with me. So thanks for letting me speak. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you much. Appreciate it. So let me give my rendition of it before we go to break, if I can. Is that okay, Evan? I don't want you to cut off my microphone and start playing commercials. So it would be a hard step. It's not outside of the realm of possibility. I'm not saying he's wrong. It's not out the realm of possibility that this was set up. I got it. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination. And yet, watch this. This guy who's in charge, or girl, or whoever it is, woman, man, in charge of training at FLETC, we have a generation of soft, and I mean with a capital S, soft individuals who have gone into law enforcement. And I can say that because I've trained cops. I've trained with cops, and I was one. We have a soft generation, and in order to get them in, they had to stop doing certain things that turned people away. Oh, my God, I don't want to do that. I got to holler when I run. I remember being at the academy, and we would make people run and a cadence and holler out loud, and we were told, be quiet. Shh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't make them do that. We can't. Well, we have to change the amount of push-ups a person can do because now I understand the difference between men and women and the amount of push-ups they have to do, but the fact that they don't have to do push-ups sometimes makes me weird. You have to have enough upper body strength to do certain things in law enforcement. You have to have enough legs, all that. You see what happened with those knuckleheads they sent to all the cities to lock up all the immigrants. 2 people are dead in America because you have idiots who didn't understand the concept of probable cause in taking somebody into custody. Didn't understand that if you use your weapon, you can go to jail. Where was the investigation into both of these shootings where those federal officers who should be charged, in my estimation, where's the investigation at? Nobody's asking about it. Nobody's looking into it. Meanwhile, we've got 2 American citizens dead. They got that close to the White House because we have poorly trained Secret Service agents who showed it when they shot at Trump and tried to assassinate him, and she couldn't get her gun in the holster. You know what that's a reflection of? Not that you're an idiot, but that the amount of repetition you take, which is called dry fire, of putting your gun into the holster, to this day, I could not carry a weapon and something can happen, and my brain, because of training, can immediately access something that's not there because I've been doing it and I've been training it for over 30 years. And now you get somebody who's on the job with not that much time on, clearly, and you saw it when she couldn't holster her weapon. It's not like the holster moved. You just haven't been training. And we have really poor training today in federal, state, county, and local law enforcement. I'm just saying. Now, if you got a problem with it, 855-616-1620 or 833-212-1017 is the number. We're here on 620 WTMJ Sunday night, Monday night on 1017 The Truth. You got a problem? Holla.
From the post-game to the morning show, there's no rest for baseball for Dominic Cotroneo, our Brewers 360 guest every Monday at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Brewers still left some runs on the table, but I mean, we're going to talk about this until Churio and Vaughn and Yelich come back. The offense is not going to be firing on all cylinders until those guys come back.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Cannon and Dumphy, and Ridgetop Exteriors.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
She walked miles with her granddaughters every day at Disney with zero knee pain, but she couldn't have done that months ago. This all started with a visit to QC Kinetics.
We have spent the last 4 days going from park to park, walking all day long, no pain. I feel fantastic.
Here's what baffles people when they hear Kathy's story.
The doctor said, you need 2 full knee replacements. And I said, that's not going to happen. I went to QC Kinetics. I started treatment that day. Within a couple of weeks, I was absolutely pain-free.
It's the kind of story that QC Kinetics hears from patients all the time.
I cannot thank QC Kinetics enough for giving me my life back. I'm active again and loving it. I'm well over a year out. I've had absolutely no pain in either knee.
Before you agree to surgery, listen to this. Think about it.
Tomorrow is Animal Kingdom, so yeah, gotta go.
Kathy's glad she took them up on the free consultation. We have one set aside for you.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed.
Mamma mia!
Screamin' Sicilian, so loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screamin' is about.
Welcome back to The Truth Unfiltered.
You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. Your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 855-616-1620 is the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. You can also hit us on YouTube by going to 620 WTMJ. Make sure you hit the notification bell, subscribe today, and you'll never miss a show. You'll never miss a show. Talk and text line 414-333 said, heart your show. Love your show. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We've been talking about Alderman Peter, just forgot his last name, Burgelis. Trying to run for U.S. Congress in Brian Stiles' district. We'll see how that goes. And in my opening, I was talking about how, I don't know, black people are looked at as a group whenever something bad happens, whenever one person does something bad, we're looked at as a group. But when white people do it, it's always an individual, they're a leader. Oh, it's them. Nah. They make black leaders responsible for everything black people do, but white leaders, they get a pass. It's just unfortunate. And then we're talking about the correspondence dinner. CNN just brought up some tape about the shooting. Fox News is showing the videotape where people are, the guy ran by with the gun and all that. How he got that far. Now here's the flip side for the officers, so you understand. Close protection or executive protection is a different animal. And people have to understand that if a person purposes in their heart and in their mind to do something, they can get it done. Something has to intercede to stop them. But to hold someone accountable and to the level of perfection that most people are doing makes no sense. These are inexperienced. They lost a lot of capital. They lost a lot of information and institutional knowledge because people rolled out because Trump came in office. People rolled out because Biden came in office. Happens all the time. Every time a president, people go, am I going to deal with this or not deal with this? They say no, and they leave. Institutional knowledge is not passed on. How to do the job, the nuances of the job is gone. So now you've got these young agents, a lot of them under the age of 40, whose first job is the one they're in. 25, 26-year-olds who, in law enforcement parlance, don't know their head from a hole in the wall and don't have the experience they need. And they let a guy bum rush them and run past them. It's almost to the level, and I don't want to say this, I say this tongue in cheek, it's almost to the level of cowardice. And I hate to say that about a quote unquote fellow law enforcement officer. But at some point, do your job. Your job, and you raised your right hand to swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, to defend it from all the folks that try to kill us, blow us up, shoot us, all enemies, foreign and domestic. And, if necessary, give your life for the cause. It's what it is. You signed up for it. If you don't like it, quit. But when you see the video, this guy ran by at least 3 or 4 agents. Nobody stood in his way. Nobody just shot him. How did you get that close? But we have this fear in this generation of offending people. I don't want to be offended, so I'm not going to offend you. I don't want to feel bad, so I'm not going to make you feel bad. And the older generations get ridden up, forced out. It's a new era. You know what the new era is? Nobody in America is safe. If you have law enforcement officers like that, no one is safe. Not local, not county, not state, definitely not federal. You know, people used to talk in America that federal law enforcement was better than local. I've never believed that in the entire time I've been familiar with law enforcement, which is pretty much my whole life. I've never, ever believed that. I've watched the training, the interaction, the leadership. Never. I will put a local law enforcement officer in front of federal any day. It's not a negative. And let me say this publicly. I'm biased. 100% biased. If you remove race, if you remove politics, if you remove religion, if you remove gender, male or female, I'll put local law enforcement up against federal law enforcement any day of the week. Now, if you got the toys and the bells and whistles, well, you got the federal $1 budget to support you. That's great. But when it comes to actually getting it done, I don't hold them to it. I don't. Not at all. Y'all making too much noise. I hear y'all over here. I'm just kidding. We got the news coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. I'm not convinced. I am not convinced. How you got that far into a hotel where the president of the United States was means that the Secret Service is terrible. And I can say that after 30 years of law enforcement. You're terrible. And when they dumb down some of the training, well, they don't have to do that much. They don't have to. This is what you get. You ready? Trash. You get trash as a federal agent. Now, if you got something to say, 855-616-1620 is the Saturday Unlimited WTMJ Talking text line, or you can hit me on the YouTube chat. Doesn't really matter. That's my opinion. So if you got problems, I'm right here. When we come back, we're going to look at Milwaukee because I enjoy living in Milwaukee now. Overcast, no sun, it's still cold. And we got the best thing I think we've ever had because we live in pothole heaven.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, and they offer early memory loss classes to help you. They specialize in this area. It's kindness at the core, locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. It's compassion, it's empathy. It's Wisconsin-based and family-owned, always welcoming people to come tour and welcome their new residents. I've seen their places. They're top-notch. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Give me an extra large deep dish pepperoni.
Hasselus doesn't sell pizza. We sell mattresses for way less.
Do I need a coupon?
No, sir. Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,459. But Hasselus has it for just $794.
Running any specials?
Through Monday, save an additional $248 on a new Beauty Rest or Sealy Posturepedic just for shopping local.
Do you deliver?
Free next day delivery.
I'm really hungry.
Hasselus.com.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 8 o'clock, it's 47 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 45. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jen Gregg. President Donald Trump is calling for unity in America after a shooting outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where he was scheduled to speak Sunday night.
I ask that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences.
The president praised the work of law enforcement officers who sprang into action, tackling a heavily armed suspect before anyone could be hurt. The suspect, 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen, will appear before a judge tomorrow. The talks between the U.S. and Iran have stalled, neither side willing to make concessions, creating more uncertainty for those peace negotiations. ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
This is the latest sign that the U.S. and Iran remain far apart on a deal to reach an end to this war. The president abruptly canceling his top negotiators' planned trip to Pakistan this weekend and is now ruling out any in-person talks in the near future. President Trump is now claiming that Iran can call on secure telephone lines if they want to talk. But Iran has made it clear that they won't negotiate until the U.S. ends its blockade of Iranian ports. And the president says that blockade won't end until there's a deal.
President Trump called off this weekend's travel plans to Pakistan for his negotiating team. 6 guns were recovered during and after this year's Mifflin Street Block Party. Police say 4 firearms were seized during their event, with 2 more recovered during fights that broke out later near State Street. An estimated 15,000 to 20,000 people attended the annual gathering. Officers made 37 arrests, mostly for alcohol-related offenses and fighting. 2 officers were also injured while responding to those incidents. Police say additional information about the fights will be released next week. Another street takeover is under investigation in Milwaukee, this time in the Bayview neighborhood.
A large gathering of people and cars converged near Kinnickinnick and Lincoln in the early morning hours Sunday. Alderwoman Marina Dmitrievich says it lasted about 30 minutes, and the group dispersed as soon as officers arrived. Police confirm there were fireworks set off, but they found no evidence of gunfire. The Milwaukee Fire Department is also investigating the takeover to see if there is any connection to a house fire nearby. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A new community-driven plan is taking aim at crime in Milwaukee's South Side.
The group Common Ground is rolling out a 5-point strategy focused on problem properties, stronger police relationships, and prevention efforts. Organizers say the plan comes after months of research and growing concerns about crime and safety in the area. It also highlights a lack of trust between some residents and police, something the group say needs to change in order to make the neighborhood safer. Several city and county leaders have signed on to the plan, though Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman has not. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
A company tied to a Milwaukee Bucks owner is dealing with major financial challenges. It involves billions in debt and a plan to restructure overseas. Tim Gibbons, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, tells WTMJ.
Wes Eden founded a company called New Fortress Energy, and it's involved with LNG and some sustainable energy. The company is $6 billion in debt. So the company is looking to restructure that. They're looking to do it in the United Kingdom rather than here, where basically they're going to take their debt, they're going to repackage it into equity and some debt.
Gibbons says the restructure in the UK gives them some certain flexibility in how they deal with creditors. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 8:03.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You know, leather has a lot of natural characteristic in it.
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
The leather suppliers disclaim this leather is going to have bug bites, it's going to have maybe barbed wire marks, what have you.
Branding, there's brands, and a lot of the leather that comes from certainly out west.
Right, where they're still branding cattle.
Where they're still branding cattle will have branding marks in it. I love that in leather. When I see a leather sofa that has natural markings in it, I absolutely love that.
PennyMustard.com.
That leather lives on for a long, long time in a piece of furniture.
Right.
Save big on your next project right now at Menards. From mold and mildew to stains and hard to stick surfaces, preparing your painting project has never been easier than with Zinsser Bullseye 123. It's an all-purpose, high-performance, water-based primer that's perfect for both interior and exterior residential, commercial, and industrial applications. Save big on Bullseye 123 Primer. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers snap out of their 4-game losing streak, beating the Pirates 5-0. Next game is Tuesday against the Diamondbacks. Coverage starts at 6:05 here on WTMJ. And Admirals hockey season comes to an end, losing 2-1 against the Moose. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. The roads seem mostly clear, no major incidents or slowdowns. Time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, it's mostly cloudy, a low of 45. Monday, evening rain, some severe storms, a high of 64. Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high of 60. Wednesday, partly cloudy, a high of 55. And Thursday, you guessed it, partly cloudy, a high of 53. And Friday, mostly cloudy, a high of 52. In Green Bay, 53. In Madison, it's 57. And in Milwaukee, 47 degrees. I'm Jen Gregg. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 8:06.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Dr. Ken Harris.
I heard a guy on a podcast say, if you're playing in a professional game that has been set up, if you go to a casino, the odds are markedly and wickedly against you winning. The house is set to win roughly 98% of the time.
Live at the Avenue, here's Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Denise Thomas is taking a well-deserved evening off, and I'm sitting here harassing you and all that stuff. I got to catch up on the talking text line, and I got to catch up on the YouTube chat. Y'all kind of blowing it up a bit. But before we go, Sicer, you're on the Truth Unfiltered. How are you?
You made a comment earlier saying you would take local law enforcement over federal agents any day, right?
That is correct. That is correct.
Well, what's the difference? Because people kind of got this idea of comfort. It is getting kind of delicate in a sense because people kind of lean on the idea of intimidation, of just sheer numbers and might and consequence. And it's a dangerous game right now more than ever because, you know, you're dealing with a president who has an idea or who idolizes the image of strength. So doing this it's probably just going to push him over the edge because if you really think that was staged and he had to duck and run instead of pose and make a fist, while Secret Service is all around him bleeding from his ear, you know, putting people's lives in jeopardy and everything like that, and you think this is staged? Like, no, this is a guy just proving a point. And there's things we need to really take in consideration because, you got kids getting gunned down in the street and people not batting an eye, and then you still got that situation in Gaza they're not talking about, and people
Right.
get kind of numb to all this stuff, and you just scroll, and you scroll, and you just keep scrolling, and then you just giggle because you see something funny. So it's kind of like, okay, so where exactly are we at right now in society when people are arguing about labor, kids are going to school,
So
they're,
then
fighting for
what is it?
immigrants' rights
Well, what
and
is it we should
everything
do
like
then?
that.
So what should we do?
Oh, I'm just,
Because I am not
can't
a
call,
proponent that this is fake, or that was the caller that said that. So what is it we should do then? Like, what's the remedy?
as people on whole with a bunch of different ideas of opinions and perspectives of pride, what should we do?
I'm asking you.
Okay, so right now we have an issue with immigration, right?
I'm asking you what we should do with everything that you said, with all the issues that are going on in America.
Well, we have
what should we do?
have to
We can
right?
go on. We can prioritize it.
So what's a priority right now? Crime?
You tell me.
Labor,
you tell me.
Healthcare, education.
What is it?
Well, this is not just one thing one guy does. Like, no,
We got to start somewhere. We got to start somewhere. Where do we start?
So do we need a leader that we can trust to set these things right? Or
Yes. And the leader will
Just
never be
balance.
the president, so we can skip that. We can bash Trump till we're blue in the face. We cannot change the past. He's the president.
He's
So
the
what do we do?
commander-in-chief.
He's the commander-in-chief of the U.S. Armed Forces. We don't control that. What are we going to do locally here today?
Well, we rely on government aid, right?
No, we don't. We got local
federal
taxes.
aid.
It doesn't matter. We keep bypassing local leaders who are supposed to do things like make sure we are safe, make sure that business is good, make sure we don't have potholes in the street, make sure that the leaves aren't in the drain so that we get flooding, pick up our garbage, all that stuff. All the issues we have in Milwaukee are not getting done because everybody's brain is stuck on Trump. When are we going to get it done? Where do we start first, Sicer?
Life is easier than it's ever been, and people do make it hard than it has to be.
You going to answer my question? Where do we
I
start?
apologize.
No, not at all.
Well,
Go right ahead.
We have to start at a local level. We do have to stop using Trump as a scapegoat. Why? Because it's distracting him, and it's going to cause stress on him, and it's going to affect us ultimately.
That's true.
I think what we need to do is start recognizing people. Now we're at this weird crossroad right now where people are uncomfortable or nervous because it's mass hysteria or psychosis that the media has put on them because of the issue of immigration. But we also have this huge issue with crime and poverty and discrimination and everything here. So, there's a nice hodgepodge. Like, this whole situation that's being blown out of proportion with ICE and everything like that doesn't even have to be that bad because they can actually audit the companies that hire illegal or cheap labor.
Right.
Instead of taking it to the streets and reminding people of Gestapo-like days.
That is absolutely correct.
And if it is that much of an issue, why don't these companies do the right thing in the first place?
Because the same elected officials know that they can make more money in the stock market and in profit if they have cheap labor. So no matter what we do and no matter what laws we have, we're always going to have cheap labor that comes in from another country and does the work. So it is what it is. Well, thank you for your call, Sicer. I appreciate it. Keep listening and give me a call back.
Everybody has this idea of universal wealth, right?
I don't.
Well, imagine if everybody is rich, who's going to be a happy server cutting steak or bringing extra napkins? If somebody makes a demand without saying please or thank you, will you quit your job because you can afford to do other things, or could you do your job to the best of your ability without all the pride and ego?
I think
That's
that
why
it's
everybody
important.
can't be rich.
I think it's important that everybody does their job and that everybody actually fulfills their purpose in life. But the only place you can do that is in a place like America and in a democratic republic that follows democracy. So I get it. Thank you for your call. I appreciate it. 855-616-1620. Let me go back. Peter, 262-227, said MS Now within the last hour had a live interview with a dinner attendee who by coincidence happened to be staying at the hotel next to the alleged shooter And the man was totally surprised at the lack of any security imposed on any guests at the hotel except if they were going to go near the ballroom. Apparently, no search or scan of bags when they checked in or returned from the outside, again, except near the ballroom. And when the neighboring guest was not allowed back in his room while law enforcement was awaiting a warrant and the processing of the accused room, the bomb squad was waiting just in case, and no one thought to evacuate the hotel if, in fact, I were here with a bomb or with other dangers left behind. Seems ridiculous. That is the atmosphere we live in now. We are so afraid of offending people that even leadership goes out of their way not to actually do their job correctly. If that had happened 20 years ago, I would even safely say 10 years ago, because I was still on the job, they would have evacuated that entire hotel. Now, there are certain instances where you can't evacuate private property. The police can't do that. Local police can't. If you have a bomb scare or somebody call in a bomb, right, the owner of the building has to decide whether or not they're going to evacuate that building because it's their private property. Police can't just come in and tell you, hey, get out. They can't do that. Not unless there's an imminent threat. Everybody that went into that hotel should have had their bag checked. Everybody in that hotel should have been wanded or passed through a metal detector. Would it have taken time? Yes. Would it have upset people? Yes. But would people be safe? Yes. Would a Secret Service agent be shot? No. Possibly not. And we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. But instead, we are where we are. And it's unfortunate. And some of the things Sicer said were true. Everybody wants everybody to have certain things in life, but nobody really wants to work for it. It should be easy. I want all the glitz and the glory and none of the grind. And it's unfortunate. So before break, I talked about dealing with all these ridiculous potholes. We're going to take another break, and I want to, again, thank Sizer for his call. There's a pothole patching plan. But the problem is they don't patch it over evenly. They just patch it over with asphalt, and then eventually the hole opens back up, and then next thing we got the same thing. But now we got side streets that are raggedy. We got major arteries that are raggedy. We got intersections that are raggedy. I've had to go to the dealership and the car repair place to get bulbs replaced because I hit the hole so hard that it popped out my blinker, my headlight, and my backup light, and my brake light. All at the same time. I got 4 messages. Boom! I got 4 messages right away. When we come back, this is starting to get ridiculous. I think Milwaukee should change its name, just like I said before. Pothole heaven.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
In an overnight session, the U.S. Senate passed a $70 billion spending resolution to fund the Department of Homeland Security.
Eric Billstad.
An online extremist network known as 764 is gaining concerning momentum here locally.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
Got some delays southbound on 41, starting from Silver Spring all the way down to Capitol.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Is it time to replace your roof? Are you looking for a temporary fix like asphalt or a lifetime one-and-done experience with stone-coated metal roofing? This is not a throwaway product. It's an investment that can save you from an insurance claim. To learn more, call Abbey Home today. And if someone asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl. Right now, get 20% off all metal roofing. Go to abbeyhome.com or give us a call, 414-436-ABBY, 414-436-2229.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. at St. Vincent de Paul. Old things, new things here for you. We're always changing, we're always new. So many friendly people, smiles from wall to wall. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Welcome back to The Truth Unfiltered.
You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. Dr. Ken Harris. Denise Thomas is taking a much needed, much requested, much jealous time off. So, 19 minutes after the hour on the talk and text line, which is the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Or if you're listening on sister station 1017 The Truth, 833-212-1017 is the number. 262-210 said, amongst many other things, parenting, education, personal responsibility, and respect for the truth are the basis for 99% of our problem. Okay. Also added, what do we do about it? I don't know. It's like Iran. How do you change a cult that wants to kill Americans and Jews? Well, I wouldn't call it a cult first. That's one way. Two, having respect for another person's difference in religion and pursuing peace is one of the things that we have to do. There are a lot of things. I have not delved into the whole Iran, Israel, Lebanon. I haven't jumped in that because it's a whole other issue. People get offended. People get emotional. Christians get offended, even as a Christian. Christians get offended. They get emotional. They have certain biblical-based beliefs that they believe this is this and this is that, and chosen people and all that. And I've not waded into it because I have very specific ideas about it, some of which I think people will agree with, and others I think people will be astonished about. And I don't want to. I have to toughen myself up for those who call me anti-Israeli, anti-Semitic, anti-Muslim, so no matter what, I'm going to lose because I'm going to talk about it from the middle. And I'm going to look at both sides. And people in America are on sides. They're Republican, they're Democrat, they're black, they're white, they're male, they're female, they're this, they're that. It's starting to get, the gap is getting too wide to the point. 262-210 also said, you have to change the culture, and I don't know how you do that. And neither do I. Do you have an idea? 855-616-1620. I'm at a complete loss. Only thing I can control is what I can control. Number one, I can't change the past. There is absolutely nothing I can do to change the past. It's happened. You can't adjust for it. You can't adjust because of it. It just is what it is. See, you got to let it go. I say the same thing to my black friends about slavery. I say the same thing about housing in Milwaukee and how black people were treated in the 70s and redlining. We can get mad about it. We can just make sure it never happens again. And there's nothing we can do to change history. So if you forget it, you're doomed to repeat it. But if you don't dwell on it, we just might move forward. We're talking about, I'm not a biological person, right? We're talking about a chromosome. We're talking about one speck of your DNA that gave me more melanin than you. One region I was born in southwestern Africa, outside of Nigeria, in a land today called Benin, where my family comes from, where the air is hot, so you need wider nostrils and larger lips to eat the food and breathe in hot air. Some people in my family came from up north in Europe with thin nostrils because the air was too cold. And over time, they had to readjust because it was too cold in Norway and Sweden. And those specks of DNA, those specks of life, those specks of molecules, those specks of now cause us to hate each other because it's different. But yet when you get cut, everybody bleeds red. You shoot somebody, if you shoot them, you might kill them. Everybody dies the same. And the weird part about it is everybody's going to die. So no matter what you're fighting and what you're spouting and what you're doing and what you think, every single person in the world has the exact same outcome. We just want our little piece of pie while we're here. Well, do it on your own time. Do it on your own. We take up an inordinate amount of time being in other people's business when we have no business being it. Do I wish we had gone to Iran? Absolutely not. We should have stayed our heinies, as my mother used to say, your heiny, you're behind, at home. Let's fix stuff here first before we start helping and meddling and doing things. Marco Rubio was correct. We got pushed into it by Netanyahu, and now we're here. I separate the difference, Israeli versus Jewish. I separate that. And I have very, very specific thoughts and ideas because I look at both sides of an equation, both sides of an argument. That's why I don't call Muslims cults, because if you really think about it, we're talking about 3 Abrahamic religions, right? That all started from Abraham. Islam, Judaism, Christianity. Think about that. Fighting then, fighting now. There's nothing new under the sun. We've been here before. We've fought this fight before. When will it end? Probably when Jesus comes back. And at the rate y'all going, y'all speeding it up. But I digress. It's just one of those topics. I need to do a deep dive and take a week. And on my radio show, Monday through Friday on 101.7 The Truth, take a day and dive into the Iran-Israeli conflict. And just look at the Middle East for what it is and what it's been and how we got here. And little patterns I see amongst 7 countries that have been talked about in the past and how we're on number 7 right now. Like all those things that people haven't heard, don't see, and understand it's not meant to trash what you believe. It's just additional information. You can accept it or not. You can accept it as fact or believe it or not. It's there. And it doesn't mean you're anti-Semitic or you're anti-Christian or you're anti-Islamic. You can just make a statement. You know what I think is missing before we go to break? What I think is missing in America is the one thing that every single religion, regardless of what it is, or whether you consider it mainstream or cult, or if it's, whatever it is, whatever Eastern religion, whatever Southeastern religion, whatever Middle Eastern religion, whatever Western, whatever it is, whether it came from Abrahamic, it doesn't matter what it is. There's only one thing that all the religions seem to miss. And I just find it interesting that if we had that one thing, we really wouldn't be in this nonsense. 414-578 said, our religions began as cults, so it's funny when they call each other cults. Zionism is as bad, if not worse, than the regime in Iran. We should not be picking sides and just pushing for peace, but Israel should be held to the same standards as far as nuclear weapons go as Iran. Those are his words, not mine. Or her words. I don't necessarily believe that all religions start as cults, but that's neither here nor there. When we come back, I'm going to give you my word that I think we all need. We all need this one thing, regardless of your religious or non-religious or spirituality or non-spirituality affiliation. We all need this one thing. And I think if we gave it to each other, it might work. We'll also talk about this thing that's not in the news. I find that ironic. This foolishness that's going on the South Side. You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. We'll be back.
You probably don't have to replace those windows. If the frames are intact and it's just the glass that's cracked, or it's foggy, replacing thermal window panes with the help of Less's Glass will save you the cost of total window replacement. When you want to know how much we can save you, all you have to do is measure the height and width of just the glass portion of the window panes. Then send us an email to info@lessglassservice.com and we'll get you an estimate right away. Just be sure to specify if you'd like us to come out and replace your window pane on site, or if you'd like to do it in the most cost-effective way possible by bringing the windows into our shop. Either way, you're saving a lot of money versus a total window replacement that you probably don't need. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does, because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Treat your mother to Mineshaft Restaurant's all-you-can-eat, super affordable Mother's Day brunch. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. The Wednesday and Friday haddock fish fry is all you can eat and under $9. The Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford. Google and reserve today.
A new deck from Outdoor Living Unlimited is built to last. We are Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team. For amazing ideas, go to Outdoor Living Unlimited's Instagram page. For a free estimate, go to OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered.
33 minutes after the hour, you're listening to Truth Unfiltered. Whenever or wherever or however you're listening, just know we're here live on YouTube as well. You can just search 620 WTMJ on YouTube. Subscribe today. Make sure you hit the notification bell every time we're live. Ding! It'll pop up. If you got to give us a call, text, call, you name it. Sliding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line is 855-616-1620. Or if you're listening on our sister station, 833-212-1017 is the talk and text line for 1017 The Truth, where I hang out every Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Before we get to my word, I think should be with everyone. 262-210 said, you're right, cult is a bad choice of words. I guess it would be the belief that you have to eliminate a certain group of people. I don't know what you call that. It's a G word. It's called genocide. Got to get rid of that part. Yeah. By the way, weather right now is 60. Well, let me refresh this to make sure I get the right temperature, because it's 65 degrees. Feels like 65. The high today was 67. Low 50. 58 winds are from the east northeast at about 7 miles an hour, so it should be cooling off just a touch, about 8 more degrees, 9 more degrees, and then we'll be, or should I say, anyway, 10, 13 more degrees, and we'll be a little cooler tonight. Not bad. It was pretty peaceful. I slept a long time yesterday, but anyway. I think what's needed in America and what's needed between religions, along with trust, is grace. People have to give each other grace. As I've aged, as I've gotten older, I recognize younger people have time, older people have wisdom. They intersect between 35 and 40 years old, and that's when you start to realize, I think that's what I want to do. I think that's where I want to go. Make your change, grow, get a new house, move an apartment, something, right? Always make sure that you give people grace. Stop getting mad at the old white lady who's afraid, who said, I'm calling the police because there's a black fella in a police uniform and they don't have black police officers in Milwaukee on the south side. Lady had to have been 80 years old Polish lady on the south side. Am I going to get mad at her? No, I ain't mad at her. She's living in her life and in her experience. So I called my Polish sergeant, who had 9,627 letters in his name. I say that jokingly, having grown up on the south side of Chicago, and 40% of my friends were Polish, came and talked to her and spoke Polish with her and calmed her down and helped her out. And she was scared. And you got to give that lady grace. Got to give her grace. When I go to the mall and I'm walking and this is just me. If you're any cop worth your salt, you never pull straight into a parking space. You back in, so when you pull out, you can see where you're going. That means that my driver's side is next to the next person's driver's side. And now we're both walking in, and the woman in front of me panics. Where are you going? And then she looks at me and says, that's not your car. Then I press the button. Beep, beep. And she looks at me. Now, are you saying I'm not supposed to be driving that car, or I'm supposed to be here for that, right? But think about where I am. I'm in a parking lot at a mall where people have been robbed and carjacked. So if you remove race and gender, and I'm not going to say what race she was either, and don't assume she was a white female, because she wasn't. When you get through that, I had to get a woman some grace. Yes, ma'am, I'm just waiting for you to get in your car, and then I'll get in mine. Absolutely. You have a great rest of your day. You shouldn't have said that. That woman was living with an experience that one of her family members might have been carjacked, or she was just scared. Take a step back, let it go. That's all. We need to give each other more grace. We need to let people be who they are. I let Evan be who he is every single Sunday we're here. Every single Sunday. He talks all that sports nonsense. He talks all that. I just let it go. Okay. You know why? Because I got to give him some grace. Why? Because he's usually right. I just never tell him, but he's usually right. And then I'm sitting there middle of the week and something happens, and I'll go, that's the same thing Evan said Sunday. Right again. Ooh. Now, I wish, Evan, if you would be so kind as to pontificate about the potholes we got in the city of Milwaukee, that might make me a little happier. Story from WISN.com. Milwaukee's Department of Public Works said crews are working extended hours to address a city-wide pothole program, prioritizing repairs on high-speed, high-volume corridors over local streets. Watch this. You're not going to get cars on high-speed, high-volume corridors over local streets because the local streets are so torn up that your car will break down and you can't make it to the curb, to the other street. I don't get it. What say you? What are we going to do?
I was just going to say, I don't know if you were listening to the intro to the first hour, and it stems back when they announced the I-94 project, 8-year project, and you were talking about how the side streets are going to get more torn up.
Yep.
I think that's what we're going to see more of, and we're going to see more potholes because there's more city traffic trying to get around the 8-year project by American Family Field.
Did anybody think this through?
Probably not.
Like we literally said. So I'm going to take traffic off of the interstate. They're going to go on the side streets and the major corridors. So now we're going to triple or quadruple the amount of traffic on those streets, tear them up, and then have the city fix it and the state stand there like, hey, it's not our problem.
And it's not just my car or your car or a Prius or a Honda or Hyundai. It's semi-trucks and dump trucks and trucks that carry a lot of weight that are also contributing now to the roads deteriorating even quicker.
Now, remember, we don't have a 27th Street viaduct and we don't have a 16th Street viaduct. They're not there. So what do? So everybody that goes to the south side goes to 35th Street or takes 175 to the south side. Or they go all the way over to 1st Street or 6th Street and go south. And those are pretty significant bridges. And I don't trust bridges in Milwaukee or anywhere in America because, we built the interstates in the like literally I was a child when they opened up I-94, I-90 through Chicago.
I haven't trusted bridges since Minnesota.
So since that bridge from Minnesota, when people were crossing over, why you would put a university on an island? That's another issue. And put a moat around. Anyway, so you got a river and it crashed. And it fell. And I'm like, well, what's the problem? Well, those are the same bridges. When you see them falling, when you're under the Hone Bridge, and you're thinking to yourself, one time, that's all it takes. You only get once. That's what I always tell my kids, and I tell people about wearing seatbelts. You only get one time not to wear them, and if you crash, you're done. You get one time for that stress to go, and it's over. And can those bridges hold the dead weight that they have? The difference between live load and dead load is live load move. It's like when you hang a picture on a wall, right? That's dead load. You're putting it in one place, you're putting a nail in it, and then you're hanging a picture. The load of your wall is rated to a certain weight. So you can only hang a picture so big. It's like your TV. You got to get a frame, put it on a stud, and then put it in. Otherwise, it's going to fall. I don't know in 1960s we imagined the number of cars we have today because most people had one-car garages and one car. And now we got two. An internal email obtained by WISN 12 revealed the prioritization plan following a 12 News report that DPW received the highest number of pothole repair calls since 2019. Residents say the issue is long overdue. Potholes continue to damage city vehicles across the city. Chanel Ellis said it's a mess. This past Friday, DPW confirmed it is finalizing plans to allocate additional resources to pothole repairs. And one pothole on 19th and State is so large, WISN 12 reporter T.J. Dysert demonstrated how he could sit inside of it. Residents say the cost of repairing their vehicles after hitting potholes is a major concern. DPW typically takes 7 days to fill potholes, but some residents say the problem has persisted for years, and it has. I agree. Arenza Martin said, "This has been here when I moved here 2 years ago." Residents can report potholes in their neighborhoods by visiting the city's website. Oh, joy. So now I got to call you to fix something. Why do I need to call you to fix something when literally if you just drive down the street, give them a street. Hey, dude, I need you to do Locust. I need you to start, let me see, Milwaukee ends on Locust at whatever street, 76, 84th, and just go east. And just do all of Locust and be done. Go through anywhere on the south side. Go down 6th Street. Right? Go down Oklahoma Avenue, start at 100th, 108th, and just go east. And then just fix all the holes. Why is that so hard? I don't understand. There is no reason why we don't have this going right now. It just makes absolutely no sense. Once again, the city is rearing its ugly head to make things worse. So I can't go one night, 45 minutes after the hour, I can't go one night without trashing the media once again. Got to talk about myself, right? And the stories that we have and how we connect them, north side versus south side versus black versus white versus all that. I want to dive into exactly, does no shots fired mean you're safe?
This is WTMJ's Steve Scavini from Point Taken. It's that time of year to recognize the people who go above and beyond for our communities. If you know a first responder, dispatcher, or a healthcare provider who deserves recognition, text SALUTES to 855-616-1620. That's SALUTES, 855-616-1620. Or visit WTMJ.com to submit your nomination. But don't wait, submissions close May 8th.
It's Steve Scavini's Salute to Service, presented by Waterstone Bank and sponsored by Mission 94.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Plumbers, today will be a good day. You will be profitable. Your clients will be nice. No one will stand over you and tell you how to fix the thing they actually hired you to fix. You will also feel at peace after switching to Progressive, America's #1 commercial auto insurer. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 commercial auto insurer from the NAIC's 2024 national premium data.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere. From dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Remember those old commercials that said, "Hey, you got chocolate in my peanut butter"?
Oh, yeah.
Take that same innovative concept, but replace chocolate with memory foam and peanut butter with Coil Springs. And what do you get?
A weird tasting candy bar?
You get Penny Mustard's exclusive line of double-sided hybrid mattresses.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Just like the perfect mix of chocolate and peanut butter, our double-sided hybrid mattresses combine specialty foam and a supportive coil spring center.
Other mattresses have one or the other, but not both.
The naysayers said, "Nay, you can't create a flippable, breathable, supportive foam mattress."
And we said, "Oh yeah? Watch us."
Penny Mustard's hybrid mattresses are made in Wisconsin and built to last 45% longer than the average unflippable model.
Every mattress is backed by a 1-year comfort guarantee.
And they're 100% chocolate and peanut butter free.
Revolutionary double-sided hybrid mattresses developed by the sleep geniuses at Penny Mustard.
PennyMustard.com.
Welcome back to The Truth Unfiltered.
You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number for 1017 The Truth. Or you can go to 855-616-1620 for the Citing Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line. If all else fails, you can also just go to 620 WTMJ on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll get a notification every time we are live.
Also on Twitter, too.
And on Twitter, live. 414-588 said, do you know why the streets are so bad? Because a certain party, now we got to get into politics now, have been in power in Milwaukee for like beginning of time. LOL. Thought it would be a great idea to bring back public transportation nobody wanted, and was last popular in the 20s and 30s, the trolley. How many tens of millions of dollars are wasted on that? Power lines moved, 2-lane roads reduced to 1. Your Democratic or Democrat Party. It's not mine. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm an independent /libertarian. So let me work through that, because before the break we were talking about all the potholes in the city and all the nonsensical things that are going on in the city. The streets are not that bad because of a certain party. The streets are that bad because we don't have any money. We don't have any money because we've pretty much milked every single system we have. We want to put more money into MPS, but we have less kids. And then the teachers want to raise. They want to make more money. Don't really care about the kids. I'm talking about the union, not the teachers. And so we have that going on, which is separate from the city. But they take money from the city from people who have houses. Nobody wants to raise money. They want to take all your money, but they want to pretend like they're not. So they fee you to death. So if you own property, if you really want to dip into the pockets of the people that own property and use garbage, you should pay for your garbage can. Make people pay. Now, you already pay. If you get an extra can, it's like $17 a year or $17 a month or something. You pay more for it, and they pick it up. If you're really going to do it the right way, do that. We need more public transportation because, like some people who live in suburbs and live in other places and live in better neighborhoods, they don't have cars. Not everybody can afford a car. So because everybody can't afford a car, you need public transportation. There is a capitalist, socialist balance you have to have in any economy in order for it to work. We can pretend like we don't have that. We can pretend like we don't need it, but we very much do. All right. So before the break, I talked about, well, whether or not we're going to go through this nonsense of does no shots fired mean it's safer? Well, I don't know if you remember or you were even told from Fox 6 Now, a street takeover in Milwaukee's Bayview neighborhood drew a police response on late Saturday, but officials say there's no evidence that shots were fired. Nobody asked you that. It was a street takeover. Alderwoman Marina Dmitrievich said a group of cars and people gathered near KK and Lincoln for about 30 minutes before being dispersed when police arrived. She spoke with police department captain who confirmed fireworks, not gunfire, was reported during the incident. Of course we play it down. It's the South Side. The group then moved around the area before breaking up. At some point, a slapstick device was used, puncturing the tires of some of the vehicles involved in the takeover. Dmitrievich said she also spoke with the fire department chief, and investigators are working to determine whether the gathering is connected to a nearby firehouse. Huh? So they had noise and activity, and it escalated, and screaming and engine noise and fireworks and all that. Now, they'll never call it. It could have been gunfire, but they're going to make sure all the stories say it was fireworks. Why is that? Because they played out everything on the South Side. Where's the news coverage from the South Side? Where's the news coverage when people act a fool in certain neighborhoods? Well, I'll tell you, having 30 years in law enforcement here in the city of Milwaukee and in the county and in the state, I've learned that people on the South Side, including some reporters, downplay their own neighborhoods. They downplay predominantly white neighborhoods, and they act like nothing ever happened. There were no shots fired, if I recall, at Bayshore Mall. Kids acting foolish, doing what they do. These were probably adults on the south side. They might say nothing. Just pass it out. It's Bayview. We're not going to make that look bad. That's the problem. So here's a story buried on a website. Haven't seen this story on another website. Updated today, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time. Story by Kevin Schwaller and Durante Matthews. Nothing. Didn't hear about it on other newspapers. Wasn't in JS Online. Wasn't ever just what happened? That is a perfect example of when I talk about individualism versus group. One thing happens at Bayshore Mall, all the black kids get castigated and they're terrible, and leadership and their families, and this is how black people are. And we're not going to get to the issues that are happening in the county with people that work down in the park and at the boat dock and how they treated Kyle Wallace when he was down there. We're not going to get into that. We'll do that some other day. Yeah. It's a tale of two cities. It's a tale of two cities. And then when we call it out, you're being racial. No, I'm just being factual. That is what happened. And it's unfortunate that we do that. We talk everything down. Where is Marina Dmitrievich, the alderwoman? Why wasn't she on TV everywhere talking about how terrible it was? Oh, it was only for 30 minutes. They play everything down. They didn't get the time. Oh, Northside, it was there for 2 hours. It was there for all. They have every single detail they could find. But when it's on the South Side, oh, yeah, they broke up. Oh, yeah, shots fired, yeah, firecrackers. You fire a firecracker off on the North Side, 12,000 cops show up. Firecracker on the South Side, yeah. Police probably took their time going. Got there, look around, what they doing. All right, y'all move now. Go on, move on. Why didn't y'all do that at Bayshore? Why didn't you do that downtown Milwaukee? Because we shut the street down in Milwaukee for Code Red. And we let people come down from the suburbs and hang out. And most of those people don't look like me. So they can walk in the street drunk. They can walk down the street drunk, and you can go a mile, half mile south of there, south of Wisconsin Avenue, and you'll get a ticket for walking in the same street because they don't shut down the street for those clubs. If you were really going to do it right, shut down all of Water Street down to Michigan, and then let people have some fun. Regulate it. Put an entrance up where you got to swipe your ID to get in. So if you act a fool, we already got your information. And every week they just dump it. Okay, it's been X amount of days. Boop, delete. And you delete all the IDs out the system and you restart. And you know where your information goes. You know how you stop it. Give them space to take the cars and spin around and let them get their information and pay extra for insurance and pay a fee. And let them just drive up and down the street and mind their own business. Do it the way they do in San Diego. Make money off of it. Give the taxpayers a break. Oh, that's what you want to do? Okay, you got to have insurance. You got to have this. And you got to pay an extra fee that gives you extra insurance. And we're going to have tow trucks there and car repair places and food, and everybody's just going to have a great time. If that's what you want to do. But Milwaukee is too conservative to do that. Oh, we can't do that? We've never done that before. Heard it from the police department, heard it from the fire department, heard it from the city. But yet they want to be moving into the 21st century. I don't think anybody reminded you we're like 26 years in. Your streets need to catch up. Political leadership needs to catch up. The people need to catch up. Because I'm disappointed. But it'll get better. It always does. You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Evan. Appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful, wonderful start of your week.